Hey all, Wes Blankenship here with DawgsHQ with a quick 1st and 10 update to start your Tuesday, January 3rd with some Dogs news and notes. First of all, Georgia running back Kenny McIntosh accepted a Senior Bowl invite for the 2022 season. He will play in the Reese's Senior Bowl. He's been a big part of what Georgia does on offense this season, setting some incredible numbers for the Dogs. He has 779 yards rushing. That leads the team. He also has 10 touchdowns on 142 carries. But check out what he's done through the air as well. 505 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, and he had the first score in Georgia's 42-41 Peach Bowl win over Ohio State, that nifty little tunnel screen. And Georgia had a lot of ground to gain, and Kenny had no problem slicing through the Buckeyes defense to get the scoring party started for the Dogs. Could have had one more touchdown, but the turf monster got him. He told us after the game he just got sniped. As far as what his teammates have said about him, Georgia quarterback Stetson Bennett just observed that he's running angry. That's what he said after the Georgia Tech game, and mentioned that he's come back from moments where he fumbled against Florida. And he's just a different back when he does that, and he's really been a different back since he did fumble against Florida. He's been angry, really stepped up to be the guy. Some other news in the Georgia backfield, Kendall Milton. This was reported first last week in the craziness of Peach Bowl Media Day week. UGAsports.com confirmed this, and Kendall Milton will return for his senior season as Georgia's bell cow. You got to figure that he'll be leading the way. Dajon Edwards is draft eligible. I would expect him to stay at Georgia or hit the portal, but he's in a pretty good situation with the Dogs. You just can't ever count out the portal in this day and age. But freshman Andrew Paul is one to watch for me as a guy that had an ACL injury coming into the season. Del McGee added him late in that 2022 signing class. You watch his film, he's a stud, man. And Georgia missed out on him in a big way this year. And his return next year could be special. But don't forget about Branson Robinson. He played a little bit as a true freshman. Didn't really get too much momentum going, as we've seen some Georgia freshman running backs do as true freshmen at RBU. But maybe a second year in the system will allow Branson Robinson to get his feet under him a little bit more. The key, as always, is depth in Georgia's backfield. And with Kenny McIntosh accepting his Senior Bowl invite, he's headed out to collect all the Reese's in Mobile. And I expect him to have a pretty good draft result as long as he continues to finish his Georgia season out strong. And I have every indication that he will do that. He seems fit. He's ready to go. And it's exciting to see where Georgia's running back room will go from here in 2023, especially when they add Roderick Robinson, the best running back, best player in the state of California as well, an incoming true freshman there. So some news and notes there for the Georgia backfield. How about some NIL news? Georgia running back Kenny McIntosh and tight end Darnell Washington signed an NIL deal through a sports marketing agency post-game. They launched a campaign with Reebok, and 60 athletes will be a part of this. And of course, Georgia, as they continue on their journey towards another national championship, they are going to attract a lot of attention there. Obviously, you're at Ohio State, Georgia, wherever. You're on the biggest state with the most pressure to be wearing Nike, right? Well, that is what Georgia players are still able to kind of partner with Reebok, even though they're Nike guys at Georgia, as postgame founder Bill Jula, the CEO at postgame, said, and explained that deal there. You can read more about that at On3's NIL site. Guys, it's a big week for Georgia as they continue to try to get healthy before this national championship game against TCU. Let's take one quick look back at what the Peach Bowl did on TV. 22.1 million viewers, the most watched primetime college football playoff semifinal game since year one. That is a top 20 cable telecast all time, and it peaked at nearly 24 million viewers. We don't quite have those numbers on the DawgsHQ YouTube channel when we do our live streams, but we're building towards it. Go ahead and hit subscribe to DawgsHQ. We are live every Sunday and Wednesday night and after every Georgia football game as the Dogs continue to chase this back-to-back title run. Can they do it? It's going to depend on the health of their guys. They got to get Darnell Washington back. That's iffy at best. They got to get Chaz Chambliss back. That's also iffy at best. But potentially some good news on Ladd McConkey, as our Jake Rowe has written over at DawgsHQ.com. This is just a recap of the latest news and notes to start your week. More coming over at DawgsHQ.com right now. You can sign up for a premium membership to read more about that and more recruiting news, as we have one more Georgia football game, but there's still some recruiting news to be had as Georgia chases down the commitment of Deuce Robinson, a legendary high school tight end, or so it seems. So we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, read all about how Marvin Harrison Jr., Jalen Walker may be needed to step up in the absence of Chaz Chambliss. How about Oscar Delp? He may be needed to step up in the absence of Darnell Washington. I know you guys probably haven't fully pivoted to the TCU matchup just yet. It's been a crazy start to this week and a start to this year with Georgia's Peach Bowl win over Ohio State. I know I've rewatched it a couple times, and every time it just gets a little bit better. I still feel like it was somewhat of a dream. Georgia coming back and stealing that semifinal from the Buckeyes. I don't know if I think it's better, more impressive than the Rose Bowl just yet. Early returns for me are the comeback aspect of Georgia coming back to beat Ohio State. A little bit more thrilling than the gradual comeback to beat Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. But the good news is, if you're a Dogs fan, you don't have to compare the two. And the good news is, you still have a shot this season to have a better result than you had in 2017. I'm curious to see how Georgia steps up with these injuries. It's the classic case of the Dogs trying to put their recruiting mettle to the test, their depth to the test. But when all else fails, and even when he's failed, Stetson Bennett usually finds a way to deliver as the mailman. He's got one more game to do it, and I can't wait to see how the Dogs respond this week. Head on over to DawgsHQ.com or stay here and watch more videos on the DawgsHQ YouTube channel. We'll catch you soon.